God created us for a purpose. The reason we are alive is to walk daily in the realization of God's laid out plans and purpose for us. We are not here by accident or chance. God destined us to be here on this earth at a time like this. And while we are here, we do His will. Our success, prosperity, and the sum total of our journey in life is engraved beautifully in God's plan and intentions for our lives. This is why, when we decide to move out of His divine mandate and choose to go our own way, just because we think we are wiser, then we will do nothing. Even if it appears as if we are making headway at first, it is an illusion and an endeavor that will not head anywhere. Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you a prophet to the nations. The famous story of the Tower of Babel in the book of Genesis 11:1-9 is a constant reminder that humanity can do nothing without divinity. The people of Shinar woke up one morning and decided to achieve an unprecedented task. It depended on their intelligence, formidable force, and architectural design prowess to think that they can ever get in competition with God and come out triumphant. Genesis 11:1-9. Now the whole earth had one language and one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Then they said to one another, Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly. They had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. And the Lord said, Indeed, the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. Come, let us go down, and there confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from there over the face of all the earth, and they ceased building the city. Therefore its name is called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of all the earth. Let's give a brief explanation of this teachable event in the Bible, how it relates to our teaching, and the lessons we can learn from it as Christians of today. After the Great Deluge, Noah's descendants migrated and settled in a place called Shinar, somewhere near Babylon. The people were increasing, and the population was rising in number and in strength. One day the people of the city deliberated and agreed to achieve an unusual feat. They wanted to build a tower. Now it was not an ordinary tower, but one that will touch the skies and almost collide with the heavens. The main reason for this decision was for them to continue to remain united. They got to work and started building. They relied on their power, physical strength, and sidetracked God. They felt like, why do we need Him when we have everything we need to create our masterpiece? God saw this and decided to show them that He is still the Almighty. Now we will notice that God chose to turn a blind eye to what they were doing at first, and allowed them to do all they wanted to do without interrupting. Even though He had the power to stop them right from when they laid the first stone of the building, He didn't. He decided to let them get to that point where they thought the dream of building such a historical monument was seeing the light before He confounded them. You may be wondering to yourself, what is wrong with building a tower? But the problem was not with the tower itself, but the intentions of those who were building. The tower was not made with intent to glorify God, but for self-exaltation. Philippians 2:3. Let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than himself. God gave them time to realize their folly and their mistake, but they refused to acknowledge it. Proverbs 16:5. Everyone proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though they join forces, none will go unpunished. In today's civilization, we have excluded God from every project that matters very much to us, and we have engineered a civilization that runs on the principles of human self-rule and self-sufficiency. God humbled them because they were blinded by their pride and refused to acknowledge the place of divinity. Proverbs 3:34. Surely he scorns the scornful, but gives grace to the humble. The primary reason why the Tower of Babel became an impossible task is that it was a total rebellion against God and an attempt to show that humans can be independent of God. It was pure arrogance, and that was why the basis of it was failure. The Bible commanded us to live humbly with ourselves in 1 Peter 5:5, in that it says, "Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For God resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble." It is God himself that fights with the proud. Once a man is clothed with pride, he has drawn a battle line between God and himself. However, God gives grace to those who are humble. Here is the paradox. If we are proud, God will debase us. But if we are humble, God will exalt us. So, God wants us to humble ourselves so that He can lift us up. And if we lift ourselves up, He will bring us down. Therefore, God lifts. Psalms 3:3. But you, O Lord, are a shield for me, my glory, and the one who lifts up my head. If we elevate ourselves, we are challenging God. Imagine a clay telling the potter that it can mold itself to what it wants. Is that even possible? But that's exactly what we are doing when we take God away from the center of our lives, when in the real sense, He is both the center, the edge, and everything our life is about. Isaiah 45:9 puts it more aptly. Isaiah 45:9. Woe to him who strives with his Maker. Let the potsherd strive with the potsherds of the earth. Shall the clay say to him who forms it, "What are you making?" Or shall your handiwork say, "He has no hands"? The name Babel itself connotes confusion. The confusion that arose after God decided to confound the language of the people and scatter them abroad. Proverbs 16:18 tells us that pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Apart from the fact that we cannot make it by relying on our own strength and intelligence without God, we also deprive ourselves of the fullness of His grace and glory. We carry the burden of what we are supposed to let God handle and continue to rack our brains on what might turn out to be a futile endeavor in the end without God. Psalm 37:5-6. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust also in Him, and He shall bring it to pass. He shall bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your justice as the noonday.